That's right. GameSpot's live coverage of E3 2010 continues. I'm very pleased to have Vince Farquharson here, for executive producer from Atari. We're talking about a game that I cannot wait to get my hands on. It's Test Drive Unlimited 2, a sequel to one of my all-time favorite games. So tell me about this game. Where do we start with a game that I know is big? I know there's a lot to do in this game because there was a lot to do in the first one. So tell me, where do we start with Test Drive Unlimited 2?
Wow, that's a good question. Where do we start? I mean, you touched on how big the game is, so let's kind of talk a bit about that. The first game was very renowned for being a huge game. It was set on this Hawaiian island, this beautiful Hawaiian island. 1,600 kilometers of roads,
wow.
Huge. There was 300 different types of challenges you can do in that, so obviously that was massive. We think we can do better, so on the sequel, we've got the same Hawaiian island, 1,600 kilometers of roads. We now got off-road, so you can go off-road, you can take 4x4 vehicles, you can do that. We've now got an entirely new island. We've got Ibiza, which is another beautiful, beautiful holiday destination island, and a whole bunch of roads and off-roads there. So now we've got over 3,000 kilometers. I know, pretty big.
That's crazy.
And over 600 challenges you can do as well.
Wow.
So there's going to be a lot of fun there and a lot of years worth of play.
So tell me, how do you get from one island to the next? Can you go anytime you want, or is there a narrative that gets you from one place to the next? Or explain the game, explain that part of the game.
So there is a narrative that runs through it, but there's also like a leveling system. So obviously one of the kind of really innovative things about the previous game and this game is it's a sort of driving MMO, so we're all familiar with the leveling up system. So basically at level 10, you start from Ibiza. At level 10, you basically crack open Ibiza Airport.
Okay.
And then you can get a plane, you can fly over to Hawaii, and then you have access to all of that as well.
And you can go back and forth as much as you
At
want.
that point, you can go forward and backwards, and very late in the game, you get a really cool thing, which is a yacht. And if you own that, you can then freely move in that as well.
So is there like, let's say I've gotten past level 10, I'm now in Ibiza, is there a reason to go back to Hawaii that calls me back?
You'll go forward and backwards. There's challenges, there's a narrative about a sort of this kind of fictional race that we've got, which is a TV show, and you go in and you have to go up against other challengers, and it'll take you forward and backwards.
When I heard that you were doing a second island, a second area to drive in, I was like, how is this even possible? Because it seemed to me, from a layman's point of view, that what you guys did in 2006 pushed the 360 as far as it would go for that time, but now you've doubled it essentially. Can you talk about like the technology that's gone into this game?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we have some really solid technology. Eden Games, the people working on this, amazing, amazing people. So they've basically taken that technology base and built on it. So yeah, it's amazing actually. We have more detailed cars, more detailed environments, and more of it. So it's a real kind of technical showpiece for us.
So what can you do in this game? I know we're bringing the game up now. We're going to show it to you guys. There's a quick peek at some of the roads you'll be driving. But let's talk about challenges. What kind of challenges are in this game?
Okay, so we've basically got various kind of challenges. So we kind of split them into obviously the single player stuff that you're playing, but I think a lot of your viewers are going to be interested in the multiplayer stuff. So we've got all the head-to-head stuff. You go up against your mates, you challenge them, you get involved with that sort of thing. But really interestingly, we've got a lot of cooperative stuff now. So you can basically hook up with your mates, link together, do challenges together, and go up against the rest of the world, but in your groups. And we have a whole club system, as we call it, which people are familiar with, guilds and MMOs. You're already going to be ahead of the game on this one, you understand it. You, 31 mates, so 32 of you, form a club, do the challenges together, earn money with a whole economy to do with clubs going up against the rest of the world. So there's lots of fun stuff there.
A lot to do. So it's a driving game. We got cars. Tell me about the cars in this game.
Sort of similar to the first game. We're not revealing exactly how many and what the manufacturers are yet, but we have revealed some of them. So if you come to the show, if you come to our booth, you see things like the Zonda, Schenker. Really cool one for us, we've got the Aston Martin 177, so these really uber exclusive, $1 million plus cars. And that really kind of sets the tone for the other cars we'll be revealing over the coming months.
You still have the concept of you're buying apartments and houses all over the different home bases, so to speak, and you filling up your garages?
Absolutely, yeah. So I mean, that's a really important aspect of the game. Obviously, there's many games where pick your car, pick your track, do your race. We're quite different to that. It's really about the lifestyle of the people who can afford to own these cars. So you go into the showroom, you buy the car, you pick the trim, everything you would if you had the money to be picky. You take it out on the road, you race, you have fun, then you get your house. We do lots of things with the houses now. You can customize them, you can change the sofas, the walls, everything, really personalize them, personalize your avatar, what they wear, their hair, their face, everything. A fantastic new mode now, so you can get out of the car, you can walk around, you actually have an avatar, it's interactive, you can hang out in shared environments, discuss what next race, flame other people that are in other guilds, a lot of fun stuff.
A very important question, are you still able to pick up hitchhikers and take them from point A to point B, or professional models?
We do lots of fun stuff with that. Not exactly the same, I won't ruin it too much, but there's lots of challenges that are similar where you're picking people up, taking them to different places for different reasons. I'll let you guys find out about that.
All right, well, there's more to learn. So one of the things that I liked about the original Test Drive Unlimited was the handling of the cars. It wasn't, I wouldn't call it a sim, but it wasn't so arcadey that it was over the top. Can you talk about how the cars will feel in Test Drive Unlimited
yes,
too?
Certainly. I mean, that's a really interesting topic actually, because obviously, as you touched on, it was really trying to find that middle spot between like the arcade and the simulation, so making it so that it's it sort of feels realistic and fun. You can't go around the corner at 200 miles an hour, but at the same time you can have fun and spin it around and do drifts. So for this game, we really felt we'd gone as far as we could with the handling model for the first game. So we've completely done it from scratch again, really built it up. The whole code base is new, and we're really, really very happy with the handling now. And what that's allowed us to do is have a much more realistic feeling to the cars, the weight of the cars, really have each car feel different. And what we try to engineer in the game is this kind of feeling of like this micro learning curves. So you pick a car and you really have to get used to that car to start with, but it doesn't take forever. You don't need a manual. So you really feel like you have got a new car, you have got to learn it, but you're going to master it quite quickly and have a lot of fun with it. And your Mustangs are different to your Zondas, and we're doing a lot of stuff like that.
I'm getting a lot of questions from the audience. A common question I'm getting is, what kind of customization options are we going to have for our cars?
Okay, so when you, so similar to the first game actually, when you go into a showroom, we limit it to manufacturer options because we're all about authenticity and really kind of working with our partners in these manufacturers. So you'll have the right colours, the right trims, so on and so forth. Later, you can go to a paint shop, and in a paint shop, you have the complete freedom to change the paint to whatever colour you want. You can go bi-colour, which does that really snazzy effect where the light picks up the different tones. And brand new now, you can have stickers. And we've got a huge range of stickers. You can sticker these things up, really make them personal. We sort of joke a bit that the last time they're going to look wonderful is the day we release it. And then I'm sure we're going to see all kinds of fabulous creations, some good, some not so good. So we're looking forward a lot. We've got some really powerful tools that I think users are going to have a great time with.
Awesome. You never know what the community's going to do. They'll surprise you.
So we've got a whole bunch of moderation tools there because we know exactly that.
Yeah, they'll get you. Brian from Carrollton, Texas wants to know about car damage. Is it in this game?
Yes, we've got harm damage in now. So, so you can basically take scrapes, you can take dents, you can basically knock the wing mirrors, things like that, have little bits of the bodywork kind of coming off. We limit how far it can go. We've got a great relationship with all these kind of top car manufacturers, and our game is not about smashing up these beautiful cars. We love these cars. We think they're the most beautiful creations and we respect them. We want to have some realism, so they take some damage, but we also want to, reinforce the fact it's a game about owning beautiful cars. You don't smash these things up too much.
Absolutely. Is there an achievement for driving all around Ibiza?
Yeah, from the first game, right? Yeah, we have similar things in this one. We've got a whole bunch of new stuff as well. Again, some of them you can guess, some of them you've done before, some of them are new, and you're going to have a lot of fun finding those out.
That takes forever to do that. I actually did that not long ago.
It's 2 times forever now.
Yeah, 2 times forever. Anthony Cucchetti from Warren, Michigan wants to know, in your opinion, what's the biggest difference between Test Drive Unlimited and this version, the second version?
Well, there's quite a lot. I mean, like I said, we touched on the handling, which is really significant because that really makes the whole game feel a lot more credible. We're 4 years on, our competition's doing some interesting stuff. So I think that when you pick it up, you played the first game, you're going to go, wow, that feels, really interestingly different. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff, but if you want to keep me to one.
I got a question about music. I think he's talking about the radio stations. Can you tell us about the music in the game?
Yeah, we do some really cool stuff with the radio stations, and we haven't started talking about it yet. So, I mean, I know some people in Europe are familiar with Ibiza, as we say in Europe, and Ibiza, as you guys say in America. There's a whole clubby scene. It's a holiday destination. Think spring break. That's what happens there. So we've got a lot of kind of dance music and interesting stuff that you'd expect to find there, and a bunch of stuff that's going to be very familiar to the American audience as well.
Club scene in Ibiza is crazy, I've heard.
Yeah.
One of these days.
It's a lot of fun.
Well, you mentioned off-road racing, so was part of the reason behind redesigning your handling because you were doing off-road racing, or which came first?
Yeah, it wasn't specifically to do that. What we thought is 4 years on, we've really got to do a lot of things, and some of that comes out in the environment, some of it comes out in the avatar stuff, but really, it's a driving game, and we just felt good as it was, because it was doing a lot of innovative things, it was reaching the top of the driving model. So we put the new driving model in because it needed the new driving model in. That bought us the ability to do other interesting things with these 4x4 vehicles, which is why we did that. And really, it sort of came out of the community behaviour. I mean, you played it, I played it, right? We loved it. one of the first things you do go, oh cool, you just drive off road and you go through the bushes and trees, and we thought this pretty much writes itself. We can't take too much credit for this, genius idea. It's like, it writes itself.
So, can you give us an idea of how much, like percentage-wise, how much off-road, like drivable track there is compared to asphalt?
Yeah, percentage-wise, well, it's probably about a third. Probably about 2/3 asphalt and a third off-road, roughly speaking.
Yeah.
A hell of a lot, yeah. And we don't restrict you to the off-road trails, of course. We've got whole modes in there. We know that people just went out and explored. So people just did that in the first game because it was beautiful, it's cool, they like to show off to their mates. We've got tons and tons of gameplay now, knowing that players do that anyway, to reward you. We've got lots of hidden stuff. We've got like wrecks that you can find. You collect 10 of them, you get a brand new car that you don't have to pay for. You can go around, you can take photographs. We have various interesting things we can do with the environment.
There's a lot to do, but I have to say, one of the things I enjoyed about the original game was the fact that you could just load it up and drive around and have a good time.
Absolutely, you can still do that, and it's more beautiful than ever. We've got day-night in there now. One of the things that a lot of the fans asked for this. They asked for a lot of things. One of them they asked for was that, so we put that in. So it's great by day, great by night. All these islands have been reimagined so that we can do that with the technology. Hawaii, of course. We've now got weather. We've got rains. We go, that affects the roads. It affects the environment. It affects the handling, and it looks, cool as anything.
So do you have like a weather forecast? So if it's going to rain, you just stay indoors that day, just hang around the apartment?
We do actually, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, no, really, seriously.
I like that.
Basically, you go in your apartments. We've got interactive TVs you can go on. You can switch to the weather channel. It tells you tomorrow it's going to be raining. You go,
just
cool.
Stay inside.
Well, no, you can say, hey, dudes, like call up your mates online. Basically, we've never done a raining champ. Let's go in and race in the rain. We know it's going to be happening tomorrow. We've got that in there.
Nice. I'm getting a lot of questions about the number of cars. I don't know how much you can tell us. Can you just give us an idea of the different types of cars, whatever you can tell us about the car roster?
Yeah, so we haven't revealed too much about that yet. So what I can say is it's going to be roughly comparable to the first game in terms of the amount of cars and the type of manufacturers. And if you look at what we are revealing currently, we've got like the 177, the Zonda Shenhua. These are really top $1 million plus cars, which are absolutely perfect for the kind of game that we want to create. So they're indicative of what we will be talking about later.
Right. Somebody asked about minivans. I can tell you right now, there's no minivans in Test Drive Unlimited 2.
There's not minivans, but there is a caravan.
Okay, that's...
But I won't tell you too much more about that.
Let's see. Kieran, I don't know where Kieran's from, but he wants to know about police. Are they going to be in this game as well?
The police are in again.
Okay.
We've slightly reimagined how police work, and I'm really dying to start telling people about that, but there's a plan and it says don't talk about it yet, so I have to keep to that one for now. But we're going to be talking about cops in a while, and they're a lot of fun.
Awesome. Well, I have to say, like I said at the top, one of my most anticipated games. Well, final question: when you guys, we were just talking before we went on about how people are still playing the original game today.
Yeah.
You guys don't even support the online anymore, and yet people are still playing it, right?
Yeah, with 6,000 people every single day, regular as clockwork. After 4 years, well after we've released any content, play it, love it, talk about it. We've got a very, very active community, and we love those guys. And to be honest, they've helped really kind of design this game. We look at what they want, and then we give them that, plus things that we think we know they're going to want.
Yeah, well, it bodes well for Test Drive Unlimited 2. Final question, when's the game coming out?
21st September.
All right, September 21st, Test Drive Unlimited. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate that. Can't wait for that game. Right now, it's time for a show floor segment. George Lopez is rapping. What the hell?